Hello，又翻到嚟我 call 你上嚟傾啦。咁啊，第一 part 我哋其實就已經透露咗我哋今集嘅嘉賓係邊個。係啦，咁啊，攞嘢將王，咁梗係揾下將王嘅練馬師韋達嚟傾偈啦。未睇第一 part 嘅，記住睇翻第一 part 先 ，like、comment、share、subscribe 呢啲一定要做齊啦。唔做齊咧都唔緊要嘅，都可以繼續欣賞我哋嘅節目。不過更加好，做齊咧，我哋就更愛你哋啦。咁我哋嚟到第二 part 啦，我哋繼續請到韋達同我哋傾偈。Hello, Mr. Douglas。
好嘢。
welcome，喺度。Yeah, so yeah, Byron wanted to ask about Russian Emperor.
Because I just bring the Russian Emperor, the top toy.
Yeah, I got one too. I'll bring mine too.
Yeah, the two like Russian Emperor is, I think it's now not for sale in the shop already.
Yeah.
因為就大家都知韋達即係佢自己暫時而家練馬生涯入面最成功嘅代表作一定就係將王啦。咁啊呢隻其實真係都有唔少嘅創下咗唔少嘅功績出到嚟嘅。咁就真係好想即係睇下佢對於呢隻馬個感受係點樣啦。So Douglas, I think Russian Emperor should be your one of your top horses in your training career. So it is also, the horse, the first horse ever in your stable to participate in the Derby. So, what do you think about this horse when he like take part in the Derby at that time? Have you ever like imagined he will like be a very strong competitor in that races?
When I first started training him, I learnt about him very quickly from being able to ride him. And his first barrier trial was on the all-weather track, and he didn't handle it, and it was a terrible trial. And I was like, wow, what happened here? But I learned quickly and assessed him and felt him. And then he took a few runs, and Keith Young rode him, and he ran very well. And then Karis Teeton got on him for the Derby. I thought I had a winning chance in the Derby. Due to circumstances, I think Joe Moreira beat us because he saved ground. He went inside and cut the corner, and he stole 2 lengths at a crucial stage. Russian Emperor picked him up, but one more stride, I win the Derby. It was probably the most gut-wrenching race ever. Your first runner in a Derby and you get beat a short head, but that's racing. Having said that, he went on to win, 2 Champions Traders and a Gold Cup, and he went to Qatar, and I think he did myself and my stable, but more so he did Hong Kong proud in Qatar. First horse to travel there, and it was one of the best experiences of my career.
Yeah, it just created history. And to be very honest, I really shed my tears like when he got lost in the Derby.
Yeah.
So because I think he really have a big chance to win that race.
It's probably the race in my short training career that haunts me and reminds me of what can go wrong and how fortunate we are when you do win a race. Things, especially in a Derby. So it's the race that has got away from me and really still frustrates me.
Yeah, but back in in Classical, he was an outsider.
He was, but I changed the gear and I asked Keith to ride him quiet and come outside, and I said, when you come outside, he's going to lean in, which he did, and he leant in, and that's cost him the race actually, because Keith was struggling to change his whip, not his fault, but he was still very immature. But the blinkers certainly woke him up.
Yeah.
And as you will see, the gear change after a few races, I took the blinkers off. He didn't need them. He was a well-educated and mature horse. So, but that particular race, to run second in the lead up and run second in the Derby was... Yeah, it was tough, but he improved from nowhere to suddenly running second in the Derby, and from there on, he just kept improving.
Yeah, because he also ran 3rd in the Hong Kong Cup next season.
Yep.
Because at that race, most of the opponents is very strong as well. So, do you think also Blake Sheen has a great help to that horse?
I do think so. I think Blake gave me very good advice. He rode him the time before and he said, take the blinkers off. He's getting too aggressive. The blinkers helped him probably previously when he was immature.
Yeah.
He said, but he was too aggressive the whole race. And Blake's got very good hands and he can really get a horse to go to sleep and pick up. So I took the blinkers off and it was the winning move. He Blake won him next time. So that kind of feedback from a jockey is
very important.
Golden. It's priceless. And I can feel that in the mornings, but I can't feel that on race day because I don't ride them. So when you get that kind of feedback, especially from a guy like Blake, you listen because he can feel and he understands and he's got a great pair of hands.
因為頭先即係韋達就提到啦，將王其實早段就有用眼罩，因為嗰陣時都比較生嘅啫嘛。咁其後即係薛恩有跑將王啦，咁佢就提到咗話，其實佢有少少即係喺陣上太行啦，太行有啲 aggressive， 咁啊不如就除咗佢，因為隻馬已經開始成熟啦，開始知道競賽為何物嘅時候咧，就唔係好需要個眼罩幫佢。咁所以韋達都高度讚揚薛恩啦，即係覺得佢係好騎師啦，即係疆城亦都好好啦。呢啲嘅建議亦都幫助到將王日後嘅發展咧，係好成熟。
So long time ago, I have the blinker, so I take out. No need blinker.
I think
I concentrate.
Yeah, now I think you need pacifier. Yeah. No, cover your eyes.
放生眼罩啊！
pacifier. No, wiser.
Make you calm down.
因為我想知道一樣喎，如果佢係跑馬咧，其實會唔會係佢出咗頭之後，其實啲馬即係較為年輕啲 green 啲嘅 horse， 佢會唔會係真係冇目標追？我哋見佢成日係咁打好勁咁樣，點解？哇！啲人話贏得好辛苦喎，但係其實係咪因為啲馬太新，冇咗個目標去追，佢先至開始慢落嚟嘅
So like some young horses, green horses, if they don't have a target, like okay, so they are in front, like in the last 200 meters.
Yes.
They don't have a target to chase.
They slow down.
So they try to slow down. Even like Romantic Warrior, sometimes he
Russian Emperor is the same.
Yeah.
Russian Emperor never won further than half a length or ahead because when he gets in front, he thinks his job is done, so he slows down.
He usually just chases from the back.
He has to chase what he has to chase,
Yeah.
and then when he hits the front, he thinks finished.
Yeah, so like
A horse doesn't know where the winning post is. A jockey does.
Yeah. The jockey will just take all the control and then just keep reminding the horse like where you still need to go.
That's why it's such a great advantage for a jockey to know where the winning post is and your timing and when to go and when to wait a little bit, and because horses are vulnerable, you push the button or you press the gas too early and then the tank goes empty, or if a young immature horse hits the front too soon, they wonder and they lose concentration, and there's always a horse from behind that can come and catch them, and by the time they pick up again it's too late. It's after the winning post. So it's very important that a jockey knows where the winning post is.
So if they try to remind the horse, it's not done yet. Some of them they like to use a whip. To try to remind them. So how about you?
Look, I got a lot of criticism in my career as a jockey.
Okay.
A lot of criticism, and I had a lot of inquiries, and I was even suspended for not using the whip enough. And look, I've got a different theory, a different philosophy about the whip. I think the whip is a great tool, but I think it's something you use as an encouragement for the horse or a reminder, or you get some horses that really need to be told what to do. So there's different categories of horses, and but horses, don't forget, are athletes. Horses are bred, trained to win and run. That's what they want to do, and that's what they taught and trained to do. And probably the easiest way to explain to the public is if you were running in a race at your absolute fastest or the best you can do, and I came and I hit you, what would you do?
You slow down.
No, well, you first thing you do is
Just a shock, yeah.
you
Like
say,
this.
what happened? Or you lose your
Concentration.
concentration.
Yeah.
So, again, the best jockeys in the world and the top jockeys in any jurisdiction, they can feel what they have underneath them. And if they can conserve that energy and use that energy how they tell the horse to use it, you don't always need a whip. Because some jockeys don't know how to push. So they use the whip and it makes them look like they've got a rhythm or strong but if you took the whip away and asked them just to push, they wouldn't be able to physically push. And that I think is the difference with jockeys that can ride without a whip and are good judges of what they've, confident riders of what they've got underneath them, and jockeys that have to use a whip in order to look strong and make the horse try and run faster. You know, if you use a whip for that particular way of riding, then you better be good at changing a whip, because if you hit too much on one side, a horse moves. And then you can see jockeys getting suspended, and you can see interference, and you can see objections. But if you're going to use a whip, you better be good on both sides, because if you keep using one side, it's sore, and it has no effect eventually. The horse gets numb. So you need to be able to change, especially if a horse is moving direction. So if you can get a horse to run with your strength and your hands and your talent, isn't that so much better than having to use the whip? I'm not saying don't use it, but use it as an encouragement, a last resort to get the last bit of energy at the end. Get them going and then use it at the end just for the last squeeze. But if you turn for home at the 400 and bang, 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 what's going to be left at the end?
Just the well use of the power.
It boils down to confidence and having a brain. A lot of guys turn for home and they see the end of the straight and just go. You have to be seeing everything, even the horses coming from either side of you, the horses in front of you. You have to have this intelligent, round brain where you're seeing and analyzing everything, but you're still racing. You know, you're going 0.001 and you're making... So all of this happens so quickly. That's how fast a jockey's brain has to work. So if you can be able to do all of that, you're going to be a champion.
Because I think it is your common practice. Like you just push the horse in the full speed dash, and then just use the whip at the very last stage of
if
the
I
race.
have to, yes. If I have to.
So I think like many racing fans always have a nickname for you as well. Because I think I remember an interview like more than 10 years ago.
Yeah, I guess.
You said you are a man who can win without a whip.
Yeah.
So this is a title that the racing fans like keep remember, even me like remember till now. So I think like for this one and also for the L-shaped arms we have mentioned, this is the thing that you can really like make good control for the horse, and then know how to facilitate the power and distribute the power for them to race.
It's something I worked on and practiced for a long time, and it benefited me. So in this racing game, if you don't make small changes, you know, it's a handicapping system. And you can lose a race by that far by making a bad decision, or because the weight or the pace or the draw. So it's a handicapping system. So because of the margins of Hong Kong and trying to always beat those margins, I try to create different styles of doing what you say. The arms, the whip, the riding style, and it worked. So it's just something that I worked hard on, and I was fortunate enough to benefit from it.
And you have a great success as well 。
因為頭先我哋又講到啦，即係啲無論係曲尺手又好啊，唔用鞭都可以贏馬咁。因為我諗大哥未必知啊，因為有張 cap 圖嘅，
係啊，
就係10幾年
流傳咗好耐㗎。
有張 cap 圖就係即係韋達先生喺度講，就係話我係一個可以唔用鞭都贏嘅騎師。
係啦，
咁廣泛流傳嘅嗰張圖係。咁當然啦，即係頭先即係韋達都提到，即係當年佢都可能受過一啲即係批評啊，或者甚至乎言訊，就係話佢唔用鞭或者用鞭用得唔夠多。咁但係其實喺佢嘅賽馬觀念入邊咧，其實真係提示啊，好多時候你只係靠韁繩啊、推騎啊，一個節奏啱咧，都已經能夠贏馬。
其實大部分騎師個感覺上面都係咁。
係啊，即係
打佢一打嗰隻馬就縮咯，一打呢邊嗰隻馬唔縮呢邊咯，即係呢個係好正常嘅動作嚟嘅。But you said the jockey, the important where is the winning post? So your 30 times is a champion. You know where is the winning post?
I know where. No, but yeah, I know where's the winning post. Yeah.
That one should be very memorable, right?
Yeah. Look, very fortunately, in Hong Kong, the winning post doesn't move.
Yeah.
In some racing jurisdictions, Australia, South Africa, UK, because they don't move the rail, they move the winning post.
Yes.
So that becomes a problem sometimes, and I've been suspended
Yeah, I remember.
for that.
Yeah, like
In
14 days.
Yeah.
A month or
In a month.
A
month in Australia, right?
Yes, in Australia. Lindsay Smith's horse. What was his name?
I forgot as well.
Oh, I'm thinking now. I'll think of it in a minute.
I remember it's the orange seal color.
But long story short, a jockey's job is to know where the winning post is.
Yeah,
and fortunately, in Hong Kong, the winning post doesn't move, but our rail does move, and that means that you have to adjust your riding style as well, because, as we all know, on the C+3. There can be a lot of swoopers coming from behind, and it gets very congested. There's not much room. So sometimes draw 2, 3, 4 is not the best draw on the C+3 track, because you can end up following the speed, beautiful position, but when you turn for home, you're in all sorts of trouble because you can't get a run. So a jockey's brain, from the time the gates open until the winning post, is working non-stop. Look, I hope it is anyway, because when I used to finish after 10 races or 10 rides, I'd go home and I was absolutely exhausted, just from continuously thinking from the time before the first race until the last race. You just can't stop thinking, and how you can improve. And if you haven't had a winner and the public's going, crazy because you haven't had a winner, they've been following you, how are you going to change? You've got to do something to find a winner. So your brain is just constantly thinking.
因為頭先即係韋達提到啊，即係你話要知道終點線喺邊度啊嘛。係啊，因為有次睇錯過啊嘛。係。咁嗰次都幾嚴重嘅，咁但係即係韋達就解釋到啦，因為香港嗰個馬場咧終點線咧係唔喐嘅。但係其他即係其他賽馬地區啦，佢哋個終點線可能會喐啦。即係明明即係1800喺呢度嘅，
就喐少少。
有可能16嘅喺嗰度，咁可能就會影響到騎師個判斷。咁所以其實唔係話真係咁誇張嘅事嚟嘅，都曾經有好多騎師係犯過即係類似嘅即係蝦碌事件。
係啦，但係最緊要都係即係佢喺香港個時候就即係知道自己嗰個終點線喺邊就 OK 㗎啦。So you were a jockey, so now you become a trainer. So are you the style that like you love to give specific instruction to the jockey at the race? Or like some trainers maybe like just tell them to have their own way to execute the race.
Look, I've been riding for
so many years.
Yeah. So a good jockey doesn't need instructions, and a bad jockey can't follow them.
Well said.
But having said that, I still like to have a plan for my horses, the way I used to analyze form and do my own speed map. And I think that if any jockey rides or has a license in Hong Kong, they should be doing their own speed map. Don't follow. I'm not saying that the Jockey Club speed map is wrong, it's generally 80% or 85% correct. But when you've ridden against jockeys and you know horses, the Hong Kong Jockey Club speed map hasn't done that.
So I have the interesting thinking. Do you send to me?
And I promise you, when I do my speed map, 9.8 times out of 10, that's what happened.
But your experience as a jockey.
But it's difficult sometimes for the jockey to follow that because of situations. Maybe the horse jumps a little bit slow, or maybe the horse on his inside. But those are things, when I was riding, I would, as the gates open, I will know already, well, he's quicker. Okay, I've got to get behind. But if I'm quicker than him, I know I will get in front of him. So those are things I have no control. I can show you my speed map, but I cannot control what happens when they open the gates. And that's where a jockey's thinking and concept of the race has to take control. I can only prepare the horse until the gates open. After that, I'm not in control anymore.
Yeah, because the situation at the race changed very fast. So
well, it changes. A horse can rear up, or a horse can jump slow, and then your whole race changes. So a jockey has to have plan A, B, and C. And if you don't have a plan A, B, and C, then you shouldn't be going to the race.
Yeah.
係啊，因為頭先韋達都話，即係你始終你騎師喺陣上面，就算即係自己賽前畫個 speed map 畫到幾靚都好，咁但係即係始終你即係太多突發嘅狀況嗰陣時，其實都估唔到，所以其實騎師喺電光火石之間要做嗰個 decision 其實都唔容易嘅，真係。係
啊，即係好多時候大家會話，即係睇片啊話，走嗰度4位出唔到嚟塞車，但係唔知㗎嘛，即係我都明白，大家有時可能會即係比較激動，即係睇到個賽果，但係其實大家都要理解喺騎師陣上瞬息萬變，真係攞唔到個位，
千鈞一髮咯，
攞錯咗個位，大家可以批評得即係有啲漏手嘅，唔使咁盡嘅。
每個角度嘅個 angle 唔同，你可以睇唔同嘅角度嘅呢啲。
So I have one more question to ask. Like, since you're a trainer, so you have a lot of owners' friends keep supporting you. Like in these 2 seasons, even like your friend back to South Africa, Miss Mary Slack, gave you the wings of war to train and have a very good result. So how do you think like you keep the good connection with all the like jockeys, trainers, and also the owners?
I think it's one of the most difficult parts of my job is to keep good connections, good contacts. I'm very competitive, and I love working, and I love being at the stable. I love checking my horses, and but you know, there also comes the PR side of that, and that's probably the most difficult part of the job. But that's understandable. That's Hong Kong racing. So I'm very grateful for the support that I've had, and the friends that I've made, and the connections that have supported me. And this season's been the slowest season of my career, due to horses being highly rated, due to not having a big turnover of young Class 4 PPGs. But that happens. That you know, it's a cycle. As long as I keep persevering and working, I'm hopeful and grateful that I'll continue to get the support, and everybody knows I've got a fighting spirit. So I'll be there. I'll continue boxing, and I'll be back on track. It's just something that generates through this industry. But please don't give up on me and keep supporting me.
Yes.
Yeah. So I have one very last question on behalf of Ho Yin. He would like to know, or everyone would like to know, is there any people throughout your whole career supported you, and you really want to like thank them?
You know what? That's a very good question, and to just say it's one person would be unfair. I think, to be very honest and open, I think it's just the Hong Kong public. They've been behind me throughout my career. We had good times, bad times. Of course, the Hong Kong Jockey Club, mostly, they afford you the opportunity to be in this situation. But I think the fans, the public, I've never ever had people follow me and ask for autographs or pictures or had the support anywhere else in the world, and that means a lot. You know, Hong Kong is my home now. I have a Hong Kong passport, Hong Kong ID. I will remain in Hong Kong forever. I think it's the Hong Kong people. I have a good connection, a good understanding of them, of what they expect, of what they don't expect, and I just love their culture.
咁因為頭先即係韋達就提到啦，如果即係佢呢一個策騎生涯或者呢個練馬生涯，佢最想即係佢最感激咩人咧？咁佢都話好多謝香港嘅大眾對佢嘅支持啦，即係無論佢經歷過幾多風風雨雨，風光嘅時候又好，或者低潮嘅時候又好，好多人都對佢不離不棄啦。咁當然亦都有香港賽馬會嘅支持啦。咁因為始終要去做即係騎師又好，練馬師又好，當中嘅辛酸即係艱辛，我諗佢今日講咗，我諗1%都未必有。係啊。咁但係大家對佢嘅支持就係佢即係最大嘅原動力。佢都提到今季可能個成績唔係咁理想，咁但係佢覺得好正常嘅。練馬又好，即係騎馬又好，總會有一啲即係高低起伏嘅。咁但係佢都仍然有一個鬥心喺度啦，覺得會可以努力，即係能夠令到馬房嘅成績咧再次提升翻。
冇錯，所以佢都即係話唔好話放棄。大家唔好咁早放棄住，繼續要支持韋達，
絕對唔會。
係啦。
咁我哋今日時間都差唔多啦，真係多謝韋達上嚟啦，今日。
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
嗱，咁今日時間去到呢度啦，咁今日即係第一次揾到練馬師上嚟同我哋傾偈啦。咁嚟緊仲會有好多唔同嘅即係策劃啦，揾唔同界別嘅朋友上嚟啦。有咩嘉賓想我哋訪問，記住留言，我哋盡力試下同大家。
我係韋達。
我哋下次再見，拜拜。